All right, let's talk about Bihar. It's one of India's most populous and, let's be honest, most politically charged states. So when it held its high-stakes assembly election in late 2025, it wasn't just another vote. This one sent some serious shockwaves across the entire country. So after all the campaigning and voting wrapped up, the whole country was watching, waiting. And when those final counts rolled in on November 14th, well, the results were more than just a win for one side. It was a political earthquake that completely redrew the power map in Bihar. So let's get right into the numbers, because honestly, the numbers themselves tell this incredible story of a massive victory on one side and a total collapse on the other. Okay, get this. The ruling National Democratic Alliance, the NDA, didn't just win. They absolutely swept the state. We're talking a massive 202 seats out of a total of 243. I mean, by any standard, that is a historic landslide. So what about the opposition? The Mahagathbandhan, that grand alliance led by the RJD. Their hopes just crumbled. The RJD itself was knocked down to just 25 seats. It was a staggering collapse, no other way to put it. And you know, there was a lot of talk about a wild card in this race, right? The new John Siraj party. Many thought they could be a real disruptor. Well, they didn't make a dent. They finished the race with 0 seats. Now, to really understand just how dramatic this shift was, you have to see these numbers side by side with the last election. This is where the story really comes alive. So, look at this. The key thing to see here is the complete flip from 2020. Check out Nitish Kumar's JDU party. Their seat count nearly doubled, jumping from 45 all the way to around 85. Now, look at the RJD. They went from a really strong 75 seats down to just 25. You add in the BJP having its best performance ever, and you can see exactly how the NDA just completely dominated. So, what this all boils down to is the incredible scale of this political shift. For the NDA, this was a moment of historic power consolidation. But for the opposition, all the talk about youthful change and new energy, it just didn't connect with voters, and it ended up being a huge setback. So the million-dollar question is, how on earth did this happen? What was the secret sauce for such a massive landslide? Well, analysts are pointing to a really powerful combination of factors that just clicked with voters all across Bihar. A few things really stand out. First, there was a very high turnout among women voters, and that was a group the NDA was specifically targeting with its message. Then you had these really popular welfare schemes. You know, the direct cash transfers for things like housing and cooking gas that people could feel in their daily lives. And all of this was wrapped up in a consistent campaign message about good governance, law and order, building roads, and just being a reliable hand. In the end, it seems like voters just went for what they saw as stability and experience. Now, to give you the complete picture here, some analysts have brought up a controversy around the voter lists. There was this process called the Special Intensive Revision, or SIR, that was done before the election, and it became a huge talking point because, as this quote points out, in several key races, the number of voters who were removed from the rolls was actually greater than the final margin of victory. But look, this election isn't just a story about Bihar. A win this big has major national implications. It affects political careers and really shifts the balance of power for the whole country. For the main players, the consequences are huge. Nitish Kumar is now set to become chief minister for a historic 10th time, which really cements his legacy. So the opposition leader, Tejashwi Yadav, even though he won his own seat, this is a massive setback that's going to force a total rethink of his strategy. And on the national stage, this win significantly boosts Prime Minister Modi's influence across that crucial Hindi heartland. So at the end of the day, this is so much more than just a state election victory. It really solidifies the NDA's national power base. It gives them a major shot of stability and a ton of momentum as they look ahead to what's next. So yeah, in this election, the message from Bihar's voters came through loud and clear. They chose stability. But in one of India's most dynamic, most unpredictable political arenas, you can bet on one thing. The story is never, ever really over.